welcome back to the channel Jane Reads. My name is Jeanette and I am kicking off another week of my reading, rambling, and real life vlog series. Today is Monday, March the 23rd, and I am home from work now, and I've just thrown some frozen scalloped potatoes in the oven. We're gonna have that with some sliced ham for supper and some vegetable. Haven't decided what the veg is going to be. And because I'm cutting ham for supper, I am also going to cut some ham for ham. It says, the recipe says scalloped potatoes and ham freezer meal crock pot, but it's not really a scalloped potatoes. It's more of a ham, potato, broccoli, kind of more of a soup. I really like it. Andrew really likes it, so we're good. So once I've got the stuff cut up for that, I will walk you through of what this freezer meal is that I'm throwing together. But while I'm cutting up the ham and the potatoes, I am going to be listening to my audiobook of Blue Skies Tomorrow. This is book 3 of the Wings of Glory series. This is the very first series I ever read by Sarah Sundin, and I absolutely loved it. I've read so many of her other books since. I think I might be up to 0, right? Like I've read all her works, but I have not, because I have not read her newest book, which came out in February. And so now I'm going back and rereading some of my favorites. And this is the first series that I fell in love with her. I reread book 1 and book 2 in January and February, I think. Hey, cool. I didn't think it was once a month, but I think it was one a month. So now we're following the third Novak brother, Ray, who dreams of becoming a pastor, but is also a pilot, and he has been training pilots as part of the war effort, but he's being stationed stateside. He has now been sent over or to another location, kind of back near his home community. So he's doing supply work, like supply depot type work. And he is able to come home on weekends, and he is reconnecting with Helen, who he knew growing up. Helen is a war widow with a young child. Her husband died overseas, and we get the impression that their relationship wasn't what kind of everybody thinks the relationship was. And so we're seeing Helen and Ray kind of build a friendship and possible romance bloom. I am only chapter 6. I've read 6 chapters so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And then my physical read is Wyoming Wilderness Survival. I only read 2 chapters of this yesterday. This is what I will pick up to read once I sit down to read. And so yeah, we are following somebody who is currently an escaped convict. But why was she in jail in the first place? And she didn't purposely escape, so don't get me wrong there. And this grizzly bear that's on the front has already made an appearance in the story. But as I said, I'm only 2 chapters in. I'm very invested to know more about what's going to happen, and how did she end up in jail, and why? Like, what? So yeah, so those are the 2 books I'm reading. So now I'm going to work on chopping some food up. Okay, so I have the freezer bag and I have it labeled. I don't know how well you can see this. Scalloped potatoes and ham. I need to add a bag of frozen broccoli when I put this in the crock pot. Then I will cook it for 8 hours in the slow cooker. Okay, so I have the ham cut up and already in the bag. I have a bag of baby potatoes cut up, and I'm going to put those in there. Then I am using cream of broccoli soup. It does call for cream of potato soup, but that's really hard to find here. So I'm using broccoli. I have used celery before. I prefer the broccoli because we add broccoli to it. So I'm gonna add a can of that. And then I just fill the can to add a can of water. Okay, a can of water. Then I add, oh, I should have done this first, but oh well, too late. I add half a cup of cheese. Oh, I didn't think I had an half cup. Like, perfect. Might as well just finish that bag. I can seal this one up because I don't need it. And then the only seasonings, because the cream of broccoli soup has seasonings, so a teaspoon of black pepper and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, you probably could add the frozen broccoli just in here, but I mean, I'm just going to put a whole bag, so why would I add it in here? I'm just going to squish it around a bit, kind of spread out that soup, basically. And that's it. And then we can put this in the freezer and have it for another day. And then I've got the ham cut for supper. We're just going to fry it up. And our potatoes are cooking in the oven. And now, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll get some reading done. Okay, I am getting ready to head to bed now, but I need to document that I have written all the reviews except for one book that I read last week. One book. Yay for getting caught up on all that. Okay, now it's bedtime. Well, it is now Tuesday and I am home from work. I actually came home a little bit early today because I have a work meeting tonight. So I had to go back. But while I was home, I was able to film my announcement video for the Read Happy Readathon that's happening in April. So I was able to get that filmed this afternoon. And now our slow cooker just beeped to say it's time to add noodles. So we are having hamburger helper for supper. And I put it in the slow cooker this morning. And now I have 3 cups of rotini pasta that I'm going to add in, stir it around, and then let it just cook on warm for the next 40-ish minutes. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure when Andrew will get home, but yeah. So that is the plan at the moment. So we have sausage and ground beef in here. I love the added meat of the sausage. So yeah, that's a personal preference. And it's still warm. I should say with supper, I'm gonna throw in some Texas toast garlic bread in the oven. But that's like a really simple, it's already frozen, pre-sliced. I just have to break it apart, put it in the oven, cook it for 6 minutes, and it will be ready. It's my favorite kind of garlic bread. Okay, so reading update. I did not get a ton of reading last night because I was working on writing reviews. Yay for being pretty much caught up. I mean, I do have that one to finish, but pretty much caught up. And so I did get some reading in Wyoming Wilderness Survival. I am now at page 86, just starting chapter 7. So just not quite halfway yet, like 100-ish would be halfway, 105 pages would probably be halfway. So we'll see. I'm really enjoying these characters, and why are these bad guys chasing them? And don't they care that they have a toddler with them? So we'll see what happens. And I'm continuing listening to Blue Skies Tomorrow by Sarah Sundin. I did not listen to a ton this morning. I've only made it to chapter 12, but I do not like Helen's in-laws. That's all I'm going to say. Don't like them. I really like Helen and Ray together, and seeing how that's going to work out. I really like Ray. And yeah, so we'll see.
Dinner is served.
We've made it to Wednesday evening, and last night I finished Wyoming Wilderness Survival, and I really enjoyed this. And I was really connected to the characters and trying to figure out what was going on and how would they survive the bad guys that were chasing them. Then they end up in a helicopter to kind of get off the mountain that they're on. And maybe that wasn't a great idea to get onto that helicopter. It was just, kept guessing. And there is a dog that really plays a pivotal role in this as a protector, and I really enjoyed it. Not being a dog person, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this. It's funny, I was thinking about it today that there are scenes where the male and female character are sharing a tent, and it did not bother me at all, compared to a book I read last week where a male and a female are sharing a hotel room. Why? I mean, one difference is they do have a 2-year-old toddler with them in this one. They are not getting ready for bed or anything because they're sleeping in the tent, fully clothed, ready to move at the moment's notice, right? So I think that's why it didn't bother me as much. Whereas in the hotel room, they're very comfortable and getting ready for bed thing, right? Like, it just kind of a whole different situation. But I didn't really think about that till after the fact. But yeah, and the romance that develops felt very realistic, and the ending takes place a number of months later, and kind of see what's happened, kind of a summary of what's happened between where the case ends and now kind of the epilogue and where the relationship is headed. And I just really, really like that because it was a number of months. So yeah, I'm giving this 4 stars. I did have one error I came across where they called the dog Brody, and the dog's name is actually Bo and the child's name is Brody. And so I read the sentence a couple times and I'm like, oh no, that's not right. So there is one little error, but I mean, the 2 names are so close, and for it to only happen once when the names are mentioned multiple times, that's pretty good, actually. So yeah, that is one more book off my TBR. And since we're in the wilderness fields, I have started, which I realize I'm not going to have a color cover, on my Kindle. I have started Danger in the Wilderness by Darlene L. Turner. So another love-inspired suspense book set in the wilderness. But Darlene's book is set in Yukon, Canada. And we are following a father and son who have gone on a camping trip. The son is the local park ranger, and the father was a park ranger, or park warden. Not park ranger, park warden. I mean, similar thing. The father was a senior park warden and kind of like raised his kids that way, and the son has kind of followed in the footsteps a little bit. They're going camping. There is a park campsite killer, I think is what they've called him. PCK. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, what the title stands for, what the acronym stands for, who is kidnapping people, and then they find their bodies 72 hours later. And now the father has gone missing, and they think it's related to the PCK. And so they are searching for him to try to figure out what's going on. I'm 18% in, just starting chapter 4, and I'm very hooked. If I didn't like camping to begin with, I'm not a fan of camping to begin with, this would turn me off of camping. But I'm not going camping in the wilderness anyways in a tent, so I don't have to worry about that. So that is going to be my next physical read. And I am continuing with my audiobook of Blue Skies Tomorrow. I am now starting chapter 15, and Ray has now gone overseas and entered combat. Why? Yeah, he's a preacher, not a soldier, but he's also a pilot who's been spending years training pilots, and now to be an instructor, he has to have combat training. And so he's kind of battling with feelings of not being a hero and looking like a coward for staying stateside and stuff. So now he's entered combat. What's going to happen to him? So yeah, there have already been letters in this as well. So I like that. So those are my books. Now I am getting ready to film my April TBR to kind of see what am I going to be reading in April. But I went to go do that and my phone was dead. And I'm like, oh, I need to do that because I need 2 phones to film my April TBR because of the overhead for the game board. So I'm waiting for my second phone to charge, which I only use for filming, so that I can film it. But I can at least get my pile of possibilities ready of the books that I'm looking at getting onto the TBR. So that is going to be the plan for the evening. And then I will go back to reading my book. I thought I would pop in and say hi. It is Friday morning. I'm at work. Last day of the work week, but Fridays are always kind of a very busy day trying to get everything ready for Sunday. But I did not check in at all yesterday because when I got home from work, Andrew told me he has tomorrow off, so Friday off. So he stayed up last night. He didn't go to bed early like he normally does. We chatted for quite a bit, a lot longer than we normally chat on a work night. Then I finished editing my April TBR video and got it scheduled to post. So it is scheduled for Saturday. I will link it below in case you missed it. Then I read and I made pretty good progress in Danger in the Wilderness by Darlene L. Turner. There was one point where a helicopter incident was referenced and I was like, when did the helicopter incident? What? I'm so confused. And then it was like, oh, right, I do remember that. So yeah, it was like, oh, guess I shouldn't read late at night because it happened the night before. But yeah, I made it to 70% and now people are arriving for our first activity this morning. So I'm gonna sign off. I will check in later. Bye. It's the weekend now. The workday is done and it's misleading, the sun. It is so bright out here, but it is freezing. Wow, but the sun makes it look so nice. So once I get home from work, we're gonna go to the library. Andrew doesn't know that yet, but we're gonna go to the library because a book I put on hold is in. Okay, so we went to the library and I picked up Appalachian Song. That is for my April TBR. And I feel like Andrew wants to say something because he's holding it.
Well, it's from Michelle Shockley, and you said you were shocked because you didn't think the book was in.
Yes, I was surprised. 2 days later, I thought it was coming from another library too, but it didn't. Yeah.
But Michelle, since you were shocked, that was your last thing.
Do you know what other Michelle Shockley book I have read recently?
No.
From our vacation? What book did I make a stop to buy? Do you remember?
Oh, yes. But I don't remember the name of the place.
You don't remember the name of the place?
No. That was last year sometime.
The Women of Oak Ridge.
Oh, that's right.
So where did we stop?
Oakland. Oak Ridge.
Wow, Andrew. Okay, while we were out, we also went grocery shopping. So we got bread and cucumber and chocolate milk and baby potatoes, some deodorant, tomatoes, some pecan pie, a rotisserie chicken for tomorrow's supper, some mini muffins for Andrew for work, some salad, some milk, and some chips, ketchup, and plain ripple. And then Andrew had the day off work, so he went to Costco this morning and picked up some stuff. So he got some croutons and some mashed potatoes, some granola bars, and some cereal. And what else did you get at Costco?
I got some shredded cheese. I got some...
Can you give a sample of what the shredded cheese looks like? So this is the one we always buy, the Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex. It comes in a 2-pack. He also bought something else in a 2-pack that I know of that's in the fridge. I'm like, of course you're holding French again, but you're not. And what else?
Got some Dawn dish soap, some toilet brushes, some water softener salt, and some grass seed.
I'm not excited about the last few items.
Well, why not? Don't you like grass seed, or you don't like water softener salt? You don't like bottled water? And toilet brushes, which
you didn't say bottled water before.
Well, water. But it's bottled.
Okay, then.
Yeah. And I got you a quote for some new tires for your car, too.
Yeah, how fun. Saturday morning. It's another chilly day, and we got a little dusting of snow overnight, but the sun is shining. I will come on and update you about the book I finished last night and our evening once I have my hair done. Well, as promised, I've come back to tell you about the book I finished late last night. So, Danger in the Wilderness by Darlene L. Turner. I was reading this on my Kindle, and as you can see, it's on a card, which means it's a 26 and 26 book with a scratch spot. So we will be going over to the overhead shot for me to scratch this. But I also have Wyoming Wilderness Survival by Jill Elizabeth Nelson was the one I finished just before this one, which is also a 26 and 26 book. So I have very high hopes for what these numbers are going to be, but we'll talk about that when we go to the overhead shot. Let's talk about my thoughts on Danger in the Wilderness. So it is a love-inspired suspense book. It is book 1 of the National Park Protectors series. I think is what the series is called. The cover doesn't tell me. And we meet Decker Holt, who has gone camping with his father. Decker is a park warden. His father, Frank, is also a park warden. So they kind of grew up in the wilderness, and he followed in his father's footsteps. Him and his father don't have the best relationship due to something that happened in the past, and his father has come to Decker's park to try to repair that relationship. And then his father, Frank, gets kidnapped by the park campfire killer. I think that's what they call him, PCK, park campfire killer. I think that's what they're calling him. And this villain has been kidnapping people and then killing them 72 hours after they've been kidnapped and people are finding their bodies. And so they're like, okay, we're on a countdown now. His father's being kidnapped. Can we find him before the 72 hours is up? And then Blair gets involved. She is a profiler and working on trying to figure out the profile of this serial killer. And Blair and Decker do know each other. They are friends. And so they start working together to try to search there's a whole search party, and Decker's sister is a canine handler. She comes and gets involved as well, along with her husband, who we have met in a previous Darlene L. Turner book. I don't know off the top of my head which book it was, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So they're searching and try to catch this villain before he kills Frank. In meanwhile, a couple other people get kidnapped and they find a body of one of them for sure. And so like his timeline is changing from what he has been doing for the villain. And so like I was so invested in what was going on and could I figure out who the villain was before they figured out who the villain was. And no, I did not. They had suspicions of who the villain was, and as they were explaining their suspicions, I was like, oh, that makes sense. That really makes sense. And then nope. Okay. So now what? So I was like totally invested and it kept me guessing and I really enjoyed it. However, there were parts that I was like, I mentioned before about I'd read about like from the helicopter crash and I didn't remember them being a helicopter crash. I mean, there was, because when I thought about it, I did remember it. But there were little things like that. I was like, wait, what? Wait. I really had to, like, it didn't stay at the top of my head. And I don't know if it's because I was reading late at night or I was distracted with other things. What exactly it was that kind of didn't keep all the details very active in my head. But overall, I'm giving this book 4 stars. It definitely kept me guessing. I really enjoyed it. And I am interested to continue the series because we know that the rest of the series follows the Holt siblings. Now, as I mentioned, we've already followed the sister who's the canine handler in a different book, not part of this series. But there were references to Decker's other siblings that are also in the national park service industry somehow. And knowing that there's already 2 more books announced. So I know that they're going to follow another sibling. So we'll see. So now let's go to the overhead shot to look at my reading journal so that I can scratch these 2 and let you know what numbers I hope they will be. Okay, here we are at my 26 and 26. You can see a little bit of my TBR game board. Okay, so as I said, I have 2 cards to scratch. So I have 2 spots I'm going to fill. And there are 2 spots I really would like. I would love a 7 and a 9 to complete this row because that means I could buy a brand new book and pay the regular price. But I might have really overhyped hopes because the chances of that, but we'll see. So let's start with Wyoming Wilderness Survival that I finished a few days ago. Well, that's not a number I wanted. Number 25. Okay. So we're going to go down here instead. Okay. Danger in the Wilderness. Oh my. Seven. It had to be one of the 2 numbers I wanted, right? Just to taunt me. Okay, so I have 1 book on this line. 3, 4, 3, 3. What book is this one going to be? How long is this one going to be empty? Guess we'll wait and see. Well, that did not quite go the way I really was hoping would go. I did get one of the numbers, just not the second number I needed. What book is this going to be? I don't know. Got to keep reading these and find out. So right now, Andrew is cooking bacon, so we can have bacon sandwiches for lunch, and I am working on income taxes today. Oh, joy. So yeah, that is today's plan. The next book I will be starting is Change of Heart by Courtney Walsh. This is book 2 in the Paper Hearts series. We are following Evelyn, who we met in book 1 as one of the Valentine volunteers. We didn't really know a lot about her, so we'll see. This is a reread for me, so I remember parts of it, but I don't remember the full. I remember like what Evelyn is going through relationship-wise, but I don't remember how the book ends. So we'll see. So that is the next book I will be reading. It is another book on my Kindle. And I am continuing to listen to Blue Skies Tomorrow by Sarah Sundin. This is book 3 of the Wings of Glory series. And I'm really enjoying it. And I think I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed it the first time around. I don't know what it is. I'm just really connected with the characters. And I'm having to pause myself, like make myself stop listening to do stuff and not to pick it up physically to read, because it is the only book I have on audio available right at this moment. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it and really invested. And we're at a part where it's like, okay, what's going to happen next? What is going to happen next? But yeah, so that is today's plans. I will check in a bit later. Okay, I should have done it before, but we've decided to rearrange my desk area. And now we're going to change out the small table. So Andrew's going to take the legs off of it because we have a larger tabletop. And we're going to try to see what happens and kind of maybe dust the table in the process. Because, you know, desk behind the computer.
Hi.
Are you having fun yet?
Yes.
Okay, so the finished setup for now, it's probably going to need a few little tweaks, but I did order a new power bar because my cord wasn't long enough. So right now it's just sitting on the desk because my computer was in that corner. And obviously the power is from the wall. So hopefully that will come tomorrow. And yeah, and then we'll kind of play with it and see how we like it. Well, it is Saturday evening and I thought I would check in because it's almost 9:30 and I have not read anything yet today. So I am going to do that now for a while before I head to bed. I have spent the day working on our taxes. I've got them pretty much done. I think I just want to review them with a fresh set of eyes on another day before I file them to make sure they are correct. And then we rotated my desk around so my computer sits on my left rather than my right when I'm sitting at my desk. So that should be good. I think it'll be really good, other than it's going to take some getting used to looking at the desk space. And I didn't even think about taking a before video. Bad vlogger here. I took an in-between and I took an end, but I didn't even think about giving you a before shot. Part of that is because the desk was covered with stuff and I had piles and yeah. And so, yeah, that was today. So tomorrow when the new power bar comes, I will hook that up and just kind of tidy up some of the cords is the plan, because we got some like cord organizers, clippers, to kind of hide them or bundle them together. I don't know what they're actually called. I don't remember. So that will be tomorrow's plan. And then, yeah, I was hoping to do my nails today because they need to be trimmed and they need to repaint. But this polish has lasted almost 2 weeks. And I'm like, wow. But I don't think I'm going to do that today. I think I'm going to leave that for tomorrow because it's not horrible. I can deal with it for another day. So yeah, I'm going to go read. Lunch out again at another Canadian restaurant. This time we're out with different friends. Oops, I just knocked my lemon in my drink. I feel like I'm one of Andrew's YouTubers that shows the menu and what they're going to order.
You bet.
And the end. Okay, it is Sunday afternoon and we are home now. We made a couple trips out, some errands, went to the dollar store and went to Canadian Tire. And at Canadian Tire, I happened to see this cord organizer that was on clearance for $8. And we were looking at these on Amazon yesterday and they were like $40. And I was like, okay, well, so I'm going to try it and see. I have a couple ideas. If it doesn't work in one place, maybe it'll work in another place. And at the dollar store, I convinced Andrew to get this.
Little rabbit. Oh, just one sec. You know what the little rabbit said to me? He says, "You're no bunny till some bunny loves you." So I'm giving this to you.
But it's going in your garden.
Yeah, but don't tell them that.
I just told them that.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's going to my garden, but it's our new friend.
Do you have a name for the new friend?
Hoppy.
Really?
Or I could change it to Flopsy. I used to have an actual live bunny named Flopsy.
No.
No? Okay. It's in heaven now. It passed away. Yeah. But we got Hoppy.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's our little treasures today. So I have finalized the desk set up. I got the new power bar that I'd ordered along with some Velcro straps for the extension cord, like for the power bar cord to put along the desk. And they're just these little strap things that stick, and hold it. And they're just like adhesive backing to stick along. Just tidy it up a bit. And then I already had some cord wrapper things so I just tidied up some of the cords. It's not pretty, but it's cleaner and more organized than what it was. And now I'm going to do my nails because can you tell that one how chipped it is? Like, wow. I did trim them earlier, so I just filed them down. And I am going to use my newest color, which is OPI. I got this last week, I think it was. And then just the top coat I have is just a clear from Pure Ice. It's nothing really special, just cheap and yeah. Well, it is Sunday evening now, and I am going to end this vlog. I did get my nails painted. It really looks like a bright pink there. Wow. So we'll see how long it lasts and if I really like the color. It's a lot brighter than I normally wear. This evening, while I was doing my nails, I was talking on the phone with my mom. So that was kind of fun. And so for reading wise, I have made it to 23%. There we go. I've made it to 23% in Change of Heart by Courtney Walsh. We have met Evelyn and are seeing her go through some really challenging stuff at the beginning. And the Valentine volunteers from book 1 have made an appearance and are making plans of how they can help. So we'll see what's going to happen. I have continued to listen to Blue Skies Tomorrow by Sarah Sundin, and I am now 62%, chapter 31, page 270. So I have about 100. No, it goes to 4. Wow, this is over 400 pages. 419. So I have over 130, 40, 50 pages to read in this one. And Ray is in Germany flying a plane and he is being shot down. And what is going to happen next? And what is the family and friends on stateside going to experience? Then we have Helen going through the challenges of being a single mother and kind of dealing with her widowness, I guess, of losing her husband and kind of all the feelings she's had. I'm really enjoying this. So those are the two books I am carrying into next week. And so to wrap up the week, I completed 2 love-inspired books. I completed Wyoming Wilderness Survival by Jill Elizabeth Nelson and Danger in the Wilderness. Danger in the Wilderness. That's what it was called, right? By Darlene L. Turner. They're both wilderness in the title. So maybe my thumbnail title should be Surviving the Wilderness. Except I'm not surviving the wilderness, thankfully. So yeah, those were my 2 reads for the week that I completed. I did not read as much as I normally do, but that's okay. It's been, I don't know, what has this week been? I wasn't feeling great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I was dealing with a headache. So I mean that affects my reading for sure. And then we had a busy weekend, so I didn't get much read. But it was good. Overall, the highlight of the week, I mean, we went out for supper with friends twice this weekend with 2 different sets of friends. That I think would be the highlight. I think that would be the highlight. So yeah, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video this week, and stay tuned for future videos coming. Tomorrow, if you're watching this on Wednesday, tomorrow, April the 2nd, I will be sprinting with Alma and Em over on Em's channel. And so come join us there. And if you're watching this after April the 2nd, then I will have in my community post of when sprints will be if you want to join. And that will be me for today. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.